So this is the card we're going to be making today. It is an awesome shaker card. Check that out. Now the glare is a little bad with the dome on the camera, but hopefully you guys can see that okay. I am in love with these new shaker domes from Stampin' Up, these Snowglobe shaker domes. You can do all kinds of really cool cards with this, and this was designed just for this amazing stamp set, the Still Scenes stamp set that has coordinating dies, and that's how we're going to cut out that hole here in a minute for that, for that card. And it has so many other elements that we're not using today, but this is just an awesome set. You can buy together or separate. If you buy them together, you get 10% off. Besides the stamp set and the dies, we're also going to be using today a couple colors of ink, Night of Navy, Seaside Spray for a little sponging of our sky, Memento Black to stamp our image, and I'm going to do some blends coloring on the little house and tree, but it doesn't really take that many, and you probably could simplify it even more than these. But this is the Dark Smoky Sky, the Light Night of Navy, the Light Crumb Cake, the Dark Old Olive, and the Bronze. Okay. As I said already, we're going to be using the Snowglobe Shaker Dome for our fun dome. For the filler, I'm using the Ice Stampin' Glitter. This stuff is just gorgeous and shimmery and shiny and just such an easy filler for our dome. Adhesives, we're going to be using just some Stampin' Spots to make that image pop, a little of our Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue, and a little of that fine tip glue. It really makes putting that decorative edge on way easier. Our papers today, our card base is going to be in the Night of Navy. Our background is this gorgeous designer series paper. You guys have, if you haven't seen it already, you have to check it out. I'm going to show it real quick in the camera. This is the wonderful brightly gleaming designer series paper, and it has these gorgeous foil accents in copper on there. Hopefully it's showing up okay in the camera. It is absolutely gorgeous. It is double-sided, so the other sides do have different images that are kind of more solid and not foiled, but it is just absolutely gorgeous. You can tell I've already been chopping on this set a good bit. To cut out our oval, we're using the oval dies. This one right here, actually. It's just the one that fits the best. And, we're also going to be using some Whisper White and some copper foil for that little fun decorative edge and for just our decorative detailing. Okay, I think that is everything. Oh, and you may want a pencil too. Alright, I think I got everything. Alright, so let's keep it rolling. Alright, so we have our gorgeous card. And we're just going to start by stamping that image real quick. But first, let's go over all of our paper sizes. So, standard A2 card base. Our designer series paper I cut at 4 by 5 1/4. Our copper is cut at 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And then we have 2 sheets in the Whisper White cut at the same size. These are cut at 4 1/4 by 3, and this is for our layering for the front and back side. You'll see in a minute. Now for this, I went ahead and cut that oval out using our coordinating dies with my die machine. So I'm assuming you guys know how to work your own, but you can always follow the manufacturer instructions on that. Okay, so just say that you went ahead and cut that out. And while you're at it, you may want to go ahead, if you're doing the cutting anyway, and cut out your little decorative pieces for the base as well. And that's using the base and decorative cutting dies. So quick, so easy. And all we're going to do is just glue those on top and layer those in a minute. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and do our stamping. Move that off to the side for now. Okay. And I also went ahead and cut out that oval as well. So we're going to lay that white piece that has the cutout on top of the other. You notice I did cut it towards the top to give me room for the base underneath. But all I'm going to do is take that pencil and just draw the edge. So when I'm doing my stamping in a minute, I will know exactly where that window is. It makes it a lot easier for the stamping. Alright, and I'm also going to go ahead and stamp that Season's Greetings out of my cut oval. And some find it easier to stamp and then cut it out, and I do agree, but this is just faster for the video. So I'm just going to take that and line it up and hope for the best. Ah, wonderful. Okay. And that is all we're using the Night of Navy for, but you could also have done the same thing with the Memento as well. Let me just clean that off real quick. Side. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and grab... Oh, I misplaced the die. Oh, there it is. There's the stamp set. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and place our house on our block real quick and stamp that. There we go. Sorry, it's a little crooked. There we go. So many things on this desk, you kind of lose track. So I'm just going to ink that up with our Memento. It looks pretty good. And I'm going to stamp it. You don't want to stamp it too low. That's why the guide is there. So I'm just going to stamp it where I've got my little snow just above the edge, nice and centered right there. Keep in mind you're going to have a little bit filler on the bottom of your dome, so you don't want it too low because then you're going to be covering part of the house. Unless you want to have a snowdrift covering part of your house. I mean, that could be your call. Alright, move that off to the side. And now I'm going to go ahead and do a little sponging for that sky. This is with that wonderful new in color, the Seaside Spray. Now, if you want, you could try to mask this off with Post-it notes or something else, but it's such an awkward shape. I'm just going to kind of free sponge it. Now, if I go over my lines, it doesn't matter because it's going to get hidden. So we're just going to kind of just that. Getting in between those branches. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. That's good enough. All right. And now I'm going to go ahead and do my blends coloring real quick. I'm going to speed this part up and then also glue that together real quick. Alright, so now we have our basic piece done. I'm going to go ahead and grab one of those amazing shaker dome pieces. These things are so cool. I can't say enough about them, but it comes in a set of 10, so you can do a lot of things with them. Okay. What you'll notice with this is it's got an adhesive strip on both sides. For this one, we're going to start by taking off the piece that's on the upper dome. So just one at a time. So I'm going to take that off, nice and sticky, and take our white piece we haven't done anything to and just lay it right on top, just like that, around the edge. Now you will notice the edge does stick out a little bit. Now you can trim that if you want, or it's actually going to be clear when we lay it down too. It's just looking white because of the tape. So it's kind of, there you can see a little better. So it's kind of a personal preference if you want to trim it or wait. All right. I think I trimmed, yeah, I think I trimmed the example, but I won't trim this one just so you can see the difference. All right, so now we have our little dome. We're gonna go ahead and grab some of that ice stampin' glitter. That is gorgeous. All right, just open this up here. Now, I'm not normally a huge fan of using glitter because it tends to get everywhere, but for this kind of project, a little goes a long way, so you really don't need very much. So I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a sprinkle in there. Okay, so not an exact measurement. I'm just sprinkling it in there lightly. I actually don't want to do it too much for this one because I want to still be able to see the house. All right, so you can see there's some in there. It is also recommended by some demonstrators to actually take the embossing buddy and run that on the inside, or a dryer sheet as well for a cling. But I have found that cling for this particular project hasn't been too bad. So. All right, so once you have the glitter like you like it, and let's go ahead and erase this line too, just in case my lining up is not as good in a minute, then you won't see it. There we go. All right. So now we're going to just carefully take that other side of the tape off, all around, just like that. Now, the reason these are the exact same size is it makes it way easier to line up. So we're just going to line up corner to corner and bottom to bottom, and it should be in our little dome perfectly. So just very carefully here. If it sticks out, I can always trim it, but other thing, you want to make sure you have a good seal. So you want to give it a good press just to make sure none of that glitter is going to escape when you flip it here in a minute. So just be sure. Oop, feels like I might have had some that trying to escape on me. Well, good press. All right, so we flip it over. Ta-da! Shake, shake, shake. There we go. I probably could put a little more in there, but you guys get the idea. This one's lighter fill, so still pretty. All right, you can see that clear edge. As I said, you can see it a little bit, but it's not horrible. Yeah, I might still trim it. But I don't have my other non-Stampin' Up! Scissors, so maybe not. All right, so anyway, so we have that. And I did not line mine up perfectly, so I'm going to trim this little edge right here. I'm not exactly a perfectionist, but if it's an easy fix, then let's do it, right? Okay. All right, there we go. So now we have our shaker element. Let's go ahead and add our little snow globe base, which I think really ties it together. You guys might have noticed when I glued this, I didn't glue the whole piece, I just did lots of little dots. I found that is way less messy. This may not have been fully dry. Way less messy putting the two pieces together. Again, you want it all the way flush to underneath so it's not a floating snow globe. Okay, okay. We're going to go ahead and glue this to our copper to give it that nice edge. It's also good to kind of cut out the center, going to not waste that, but I kind of did my numbers a little too hard, so it's kind of embossed on the back. Oh, things are sliding. There we go. Let me go ahead and grab our DSP 4 by 5 1/4 and this beautiful pattern, which I think is just so pretty, and then our card base. So it comes together pretty fast. Just line that up. And we're going to add our sentiment with the dimensionals right here. Because it's bigger, do want to do at least 2 on it. And then because this is a dark shade Night of Navy, I would also do a piece of Whisper White in the center as well for my sentiment. But there is our card. So I hope you guys liked this project. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. For all the direct product links to everything used in the video, do check out the comments in the video description below. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.